Hey.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, audience, to the London Merchant.
From all that's near the court, from all that's great within the compass of the city walls, we now have brought our scene.
Hold your peace, goodman boy.
What do you mean, sir?
That you have no good meaning. This 7 years there hath been plays at this house, I have observed it. You have still girds its citizens, and now you call your play the London Merchant. Down with your title, boy, down with your title.
Are you a member of the noble city?
I am.
And a freeman?
Yes, and a grocer.
So, grocer, then by your sweet favor, we intend no abuse to the city. You seem to be an understanding man. What would you have us do, sir?
Why, present something notably in honor of the commons of the city.
What do you say to the life and death of Fat Drake, or the repairing of the fruit trees?
I don't like that, but I will have a citizen, and he shall be of my own trade.
Oh, you should have told us your mind a month since. Our play is ready to begin now.
'Tis all one for that. I will have a grocer, and he shall do admirable things.
And what will you have him do?
Marry, I will have him.
Husband, husband.
Peace, mistress.
Hold thy peace, Rafe. I know what I do. I warranty. Husband, husband.
What sayest thou, Connie?
Let him kill a lion with a pestle, husband. Let him kill a lion with a pestle.
So he shall. I'll have him kill a lion with a pestle.
Husband, husband, shall I come up, husband?
Aye, Connie. Rafe, help your mistress this way. Pray, gentlemen, make her a little room. I pray you, sir, lend me your hand to help up my wife. I thank you, sir. So. I pray you, sir, make room for us.
Dalton, you can sit over there.
Okay. By your leave, gentlemen all, I'm something troublesome. I'm a stranger here. I was never at one of these plays, as they say before, but I should have seen Jane Shore once, and my husband hath promised me any time this 12-month to carry me to the Baldwin camp. But in truth he did not. I pray you, bear with me.
Boy, let my wife and I have a couple of stools and then begin. And let the grocer do rare things. We already have stools, so just do the rare things.
But, sir, we have never a boy to play him. Everyone has a part already.
Husband, husband, for God's sakes, let Rafe play him. Beshrew me if I do not think he will go beyond them all.
Well remembered, wife. Come up, Rafe. I'll tell you, gentlemen, let them but lend him a suit of apparel and necessaries. And, by God, if any of them all blow wind in the tail on him, I'll be hanged.
I pray you, youth, let him have a suit of apparel. I'll be sworn, gentlemen, my husband tells you true. He will act you sometimes at our house, that all the neighbors cry out on him. He will fetch you up a encouraging part so in the garret that we are all as feared. I warrant you that we quake again. We'll fear our children with him if they never so unruly. But do but cry, Rafe comes to them, and they'll be as quiet as lambs. Hold up thy head, Rafe. Show the gentleman what thou can do. Speak a huffy part, I warrant you, the gentleman will accept it.
Do, Rafe, do.
By heaven, methinks it were an easy leap to pluck bright honor from the pale-faced moon, or dive into the bottom of the sea, where never fathom line touched any ground, and pluck up drowned honor from the lake of hell.
How say you, gentlemen? Is it not as I told you?
Nay, gentlemen, he hath played before. My husband Eusodorus before the wardens of our company.
Aye, he should have played Geronimo with his shoemaker for a wager.
You shall have a suit of apparel if you will go in.
In, Rafe, and set out the grocery in their kind, if thou lovest me.
I warrant our Rafe will look finely when he's dressed.
What will you have it called?
The grocer's home. Honest.
Methinks the night of the Burning Pestle is better.
I'll be sworn, husband. That's as good a name as can be.
Let it be so. Begin. My wife and I will sit down.
Pray you do. From all that's near the court, from all that's great within the compass of our city walls, we now have brought our scene. Fly far from hence, all private texts and modest phrases, whatever may but show like vicious, for wicked mirth never true pleasure brings, but honest minds are pleased with honest things. Thus much for what we do, but for Rafe's part, we must cope.
Take you no care for Rafe, he'll discharge himself, I warrant you.
In faith, gentlemen, I'll give my word for Rafe.
Sir, I'll make you know you are my apprentice, and whom my charitable love redeemed. Even from the fall of fortune gave thee heat and growth, and to be what now thou art, new cast thee. Adding to the trust of all I have at home to thy direction, tied the good opinions both of myself and friends to thy endeavors. As I remember, oh, so fair were thy beginnings, but with these, as I remember, you had never charged to love your master's daughter. And even then, when I had found a wealthy husband for her, I take it, sir, you had not. But however, I'll break the neck of that commission and make you know you are but a merchant's factor.
Sir, I do liberally confess I'm yours, bound by love and love of duty to your service, which my labor hath been all but my profit. I have not lost in bargain or delighted to wear your honest gains upon my back, nor have I given a pension to my blood, or lavishly in play consumed your stock. For your daughter, if there be any love to my deservings, born by her virtuous self, I cannot stop it, nor am I able to refrain her wishes. She is private to herself and best of knowledge. Whom she'll make so happy as to sigh for? Besides, I cannot think you mean to match her, to a fellow so lame a presence, one that hath little left of nature in him.
'Tis very well, sir. I can tell your wisdom how all this shall be cured.
Your care becomes you.
And thus it must be, sir. I here discharge you of my house and service. Take your liberty, and when I want a son, I'll send for you.
Why, how now, friend, struck with my father's thunder?
Struck and struck dead, and unless your remedy be full of speed and virtue, I am now, what I expected long, no more your father's.
But mine.
But yours and only yours I am. That's all I have to keep from the statuette. You dare me constant still?
Oh, fear me not. In this I dare be better than a woman. Nor shall his anger, nor his offers move me, were they both equal to a prince's power.
You know my rival?
Oh, yes, and love him dearly. Even as I love a flew or foul weather. I prithee, Jasper, fear him not.
Oh no, I do not mean to do him so much kindness, but to our own desires. You know the plot we both agreed on.
Yes, and will perform my part exactly.
I desire no more. Farewell, and keep my heart. It is yours.
I take it. He must do miracles, makes me forsake it.
Fie upon him, little infidels. What's the matter here now? Well, I'll be hanged for a halfpenny if there be not some abomination knavery in this play. Well, let him look to it. Rafe must come, and if there be any tricks a brewing.
Let him brew and bake too, husband, a God's name. Rafe will find all out, I warrant you, and they were older than they are.
Come, sir, she's yours. Upon my faith, she is yours. You have my hand. For other idolets between your hopes and her, thus with the wind they are scattered, and no more. My wanton prentice, that like a bladder blew himself with love, I have let out, and sent him to discover new masters yet unknown.
I thank you, sir. Indeed, I thank you, sir. And ere I stir, it shall be known, however you may deem, I am of gentle blood and gentle seal.
Oh, sir, I know it certain.
Sir, my friend, although, as writers say, all things have end, and that we call a pudding hath his too. Let this not seem strange, I pray to you, if this but bloody simile I put my love more endless than frail things or but.
Husband, I pray thee, sweet lamb, tell me one thing, but tell me truly. Stay used, I beseech you, till I question my husband.
What is it, mouse?
Sirrah, didst thou ever see a prettier child, how it behaves itself, I warrant ye, and speaks, and looks, and puts up the head? I pray you, brother, with your favor. Were you never none of Master Moncaster's scholars?
Chicken, I prithee thee heartily, contain thyself. The childer are pretty childer, but when Rafe comes, lamb.
Aye, when Rafe comes, Connie. Well, my youth, you may proceed.
Well, sir, you know my love and rest, I hope, assured of my consent. Get but my daughters, and wed her when you please. You must be bold, and clap in close to her. Come, I know you have language good enough to win a wench.
A horse and tyrant has been an old stringer in his days, I warrant him.
I take your gentle offer, and withal, yield love again for love reciprocal.
What loose within there?
Called you, sir?
I did. Give entertainment to this gentleman, and see him not be forward. To her, sir, my presence will be but an eyesore to you.
Fair Are you well? Give me your hand and I pray you do tell. How does your little sister? And your brother? And whether you love me or any other?
Sir, these are quickly answered.
So they are, where women are not cruel. But how far is it now distant from this place where we are in unto that blessed place your father's warren?
What makes you think of that, sir?
Even that face for stealing rabbits will have in that place, God. Cupid, or the keeper, I know not whither, unto my cause and charges brought you thither. And then you began.
Your game, sir?
Let no game or anything that tendeth to the same be evermore remembered, thou fair killer, for whom I set me down and break my tiller.
There's a kind gentleman, I warrant you. Wouldn't want you to do as much for me, George.
Beshrew me, sir, I'm sorry for your losses, but as the proverb says, I cannot cry. I would you had not seen me.
So would I, unless you had more maw to do me good.
Why cannot this strange passion be withstood? Send for a constable and raise the town.
Ah, no! My valiant love will batter down millions of constables and put to flight even that great watch of midsummer day. Or night.
Beshrew me, sir, 'twere good I yielded then. Weak women cannot hope where valiant men have no resistance.
Yield, then. I am full of pity, though I say it and can pull out of my pocket thus a pair of gloves. Look, Lucy, look. The dog's tooth nor the doves are not so white as these, and sweet as they may be, and whipped with silk, as you may see. If you desire the price, shoot from your eye, and beam to this place you shall espy S. Which is to say, my sweetest honey, they cost me 2 and 3 pence. Or no money.
Well, sir, I take them kindly, and I thank you. What would you more?
No thing.
Well, then farewell.
No, sir. My lady, I must tell before we part, for when we meet together, God grant me time and patience and fair weather.
Speak and declare your mind in terms so brave.
I shall, then, first and foremost, for relief. I call to you, if that you can afford it. I care not at what price, on my word it shall be repaid again, although it cost me more than I'll speak of now. For love hath tossed me in a furious blanket like a tennis ball, and now I rise aloft, and now I fall.
Alas, good gentlemen, alas the day.
I thank you heartily, and as I say, thus do I still continue without rest. In the morning like a man, at night a beast, roaring and bellowing mine own disquiet, that much I fear forsaking of my diet will bring me presently to that quandary. I shall bid all adieu.
Oh, now by Saint Mary, that were a great pity.
So it were. Beshrew me, then ease me, lusty, loose, and pity show me.
Why, sir, you know my will is nothing worth without my father's grant. Get his consent, and then you may with assurance try me.
The worshipful your sire will not deny me, for I have asked him, and he hath replied, Sweet Master Humphrey, loose shall be thy bride.
Sweet Master Humphrey, then I am content.
And so am I, in truth.
Yet take me with you. There's another clause must be annexed, and this is it. I swore and will perform it. No man shall ever join me as his wife, but he that stole me hence. If you dare venture, I am yours. You need not fear, my father loves you. If not, farewell forever.
Stay, stay! I have a double gilding, colored base, sprung by his father for barbarian kind, another for myself, though somewhat blind, yet truly is trusty tree.
Oh, I am satisfied, and so I give my hand. Our course must lie through Waltham Forest, where I have a friend will entertain us. So farewell, Sir Humphrey, and think upon your business.
Though I die, I am resolved to venture life, and live for one so young, so fair, so kind, so trim.
By my faith and troth, George, and as I am virtuous, it is even the kindest young man that ever trod on shoe leather. Well, go thy ways. If thou hast her not, 'tis not thee fault, faith.
I prithee thee, mouse, be patient, and he shall have her, or I'll make some of them smoke for it.
That's my good lamb, George. Fie, the stinking tobacco kills men. Would there were none in England. Now I pray, gentlemen, what good does the stinking tobacco do you? Nothing, I warrant you, making chimneys of your faces. Oh, husband, husband, now, there's Rafe, there's Rafe.
Peace, fool. Let Rafe alone. Hark you, Rafe, do not strain yourself too much at this first piece. Begin, Rafe.
Then Palmerin and Trineus, snatching their lances from their dwarfs, and clasping their helmets, galloped amain after the giant. And Palmerin, having got a sight of him, came posting amain, saying, Stay, traitorous thief, for thou mayst not so carry away her that is worth the greatest lord in the world. and with these words gave him a blow on the shoulder that he struck him besides his elephant. And Trineus, coming to the knight that had Agricola behind him, sat him soon besides his horse, with his neck broken in the fall, so that the princess, getting out of the throng between joy and grief, said, "All happy knight, the mirror of all such as follow arms, now may I be well assured of the love thou bearest me." I wonder why the kings do not raise an army of 14 or 1,500,000 men, as big as the army that the Prince of Portugal brought against Rossicler, and destroy these giants. They do much hurt to wandering damsels that go in quest of their knights.
Faith, husband, and Rafe says true, for they say the king of Portugal cannot sit at his meat, but the giants and the Edens will come and snatch it from him.
Told by Tom. On, Rafe.
And certainly those knights are much to be commended, who, neglecting their possessions, wander with a squire and a dwarf through the deserts to relieve poor ladies.
Aye, by my faith are they, Rafe. Let them say what they will, they are indeed. Our knights neglect their possessions well enough, but they do not the rest.
There are no such courteous and fair well-spoken knights of this age. They will call one the son of a whore that Palmerin of England would have called fair sir, and one that Rossicler would have called a right beauteous damsel they will call damned bitch.
I'll be sworn will they, Rafe. They have called me so 100 times about a scurvy pipe of tobacco.
But what brave spirit could be content to sit in a shop with a flappet of wood and a blue apron before him, smelling Mithridatum and dragon's water, to visit at houses that might pursue feats of arms, and through his noble achievements procure such a famous history to be written of his heroic prowess?
Well said, Rafe. Some more of those words, Rafe.
They go finely by my troth.
Why should not then pursue this course, both for the credit of myself and our company, for amongst all the worthy books of achievements, I do not call to mind that I yet read of a grocer errant. I will be the said knight. Have you heard of any that hath wandered unfurnished of his squire and dwarf? My elder apprentice, Tim, shall be my trusty squire, and little George my dwarf. Hence my blue apron, yet in remembrance of my former trade, upon my shield shall be portrayed a burning pestle, and I will be called the Knight of the Burning Pestle.
Nay, I dare swear thou wilt not forget thy old trade. Thou wert ever meek.
Tim, my beloved squire, and George, my dwarf, I charge you that from henceforth you never call me by any other name but right courteous and valiant Knight of the Burning Pestle, and that you never call any female by the name of a woman or wench, but fair lady, if she have her desires, if not, distressed damsel, that you call all forests and heaths deserts, and all horses palfreys.
This is very fine, Faith. Do the gentlemen like Rafe think you, husband?
Aye, I warrant thee. The players would give all the shoes in their shop for him.
My beloved squire Tim, stand out. Admit this were a desert, and over it a knight-errant pricking, and I should bid you inquire of his intents. What would you say?
Sir, my master sent me to know whether you are riding.
No. Thus, fair sir, the right courteous and valiant Knight of the Burning Pestle commanded me to inquire upon what adventure you are bound, whether to relieve some distressed damsels or otherwise.
Poor some blockhead cannot remember.
In faith, and Rafe told him on it before. All the gentlemen heard him. Did he not, gentlemen? Did Rafe not tell him on it?
Right, courteous, and valiant Knight of the Burning Pestle, here is a distressed damsel to have a half-penny pepper worth of pepper.
That's a good boy. See, the little boy can hit it. By my troth, it's a fine child.
Relieve her with all courteous language. Now, shut up shop. No more my prentice, but my trusty squire and dwarf. I must bespeak my shield and arming pestle.
Go thy ways. Go thy ways, Rafe. As I'm a true gentleman, thou art the best of them all.
Rafe,
What say you, mistress?
I prithee, come again quickly, sweet Rafe.
By and by.
Give thee my blessing? No, I'll ne'er give thee my blessing. I'll see thee hanged first. It shall ne'er be said I gave thee my blessing. Thou art thy father's own son of the right blood of the merry thoughts. I may curse the time that e'er I knew your father. He hath spent all his own, and mine too, and when I tell him of it, he laughs, and dances, and sings, and cries, a merry heart lives long now. And thou art a waste-thrift, and art run away from thy master, that loved thee well, and art come to me. And I have laid up a little for my younger son, Michael, and thou thinkest to bezzle that, but thou shalt never be able to do it. Come hither, Michael, come. Down on thy knees, thou shalt have my blessing.
I pray you, mother, pray to God for me.
God bless thee. But Jasper shall never have my blessing. He shall be hanged first. Shall he not, Michael?
Yes, forsooth, mother. In the
That's
grace
a
of God.
good boy.
In faith, it's a fine-spoken child.
Mother, though you forget a parent's love, I must preserve the duty of a child. I ran up from my master and returned to have your stock maintain my idleness.
Ungracious child, I warn him. Hark how he chops logic with his mother. Thou hadst best tell her she lies. Do tell her she lies.
If he were my son, I would hang him up by the heels and flay him and salt him. Whore son, halter sack.
My coming only is to beg your love, which I must ever, though I never gain it. And however so you esteem me, there is no drop of blood hidden in these veins, but I remember all well belongs to you, that brought me forth. I'll be glad for you to rip them all again and let it out.
In faith, I had sorrow enough for thee, God knows, but I'll hamper thee well enough. Get thee in, thou vagabond, get thee in, and learn of thy brother Michael.
I like big push, and I cannot lie. Your other brothers can't deny that when a girl walks in with an itty-bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get strong.
Hark, my husband. He's singing and hoiting, and I'm fain to carp and care, and all little enough. Husband! Charles married.
I want them real thick and juicy. Find that juicy double. Mary thoughts in trouble, begging for a piece of that bubble.
If you would consider this your state, you have little less to sing with.
Should never be considered well at earnest state if I thought it would spoil my singing.
But how wilt thou do, Charles? Thou art an old man, and thou canst not work, and thou hast not 40 shillings left, and thou eatest good meat, and drinkest good drink, and laughter.
And will do.
But how wilt thou come by it, Charles?
How? Why, how have I done here to these 40 years? I never came into my dining room, but at 11 and 6 o'clock I found excellent meat and drink at the table. My clothes were never worn out. But next morning the tailor brought me a new suit, and without question, it will be so ever used makes perfectness. If all should fail, it is but a little straining myself extraordinary, and love myself to death.
It's a foolish old man, this. Is not he, George?
Yes, Connie.
Give me a penny in the purse while I live, George.
Aye, by Lady Connie, hold thee there.
Well, Charles, you promised to provide for Jasper, and I have laid up for Michael. I pray you, pay Jasper his portion. He's come home, and he shall not consume Michael's stock. He says his master turned him away, but I promise you truly, I think he ran away.
No, indeed, Mistress Merrythought, though he be a notable gallows, yet I'll assure you his master did turn him away. Even in this place 'twas in faith within this half hour. About his daughter, my husband was by.
Hang him, rogue, he served him well enough. Love his master's daughter, by my troth, Connie. If there were 1,000 boys, thou wouldst spoil them all by taking their parts. Let his mother alone with him.
Aye, George, but yet truth is truth.
Where is Jasper? He's welcome, however. Call him in, he shall have his portion. Is he married?
Aye, foul chide him, he is too merry. Jasper, Michael.
Welcome, Jasper. Though thou runst away, welcome, God bless thee. 'Tis thy mother's mind, thou shouldst receive thy portion. Thou hast been abroad, and I hope thou hast learned experience enough to govern it. Thou art of sufficient years, hold thee thy hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10 shillings for thee. Trust thyself in the world, that, and take some settled course of work across thee. Thou hast a retiring place. Come home to me. I have 20 shillings left. Be a good husband, that is, wear ordinary clothes, eat the best meat, and drink the best drink. Be merry, and give to the poor, and believe me, thou hast no end of thy goods.
Long may you live free from all thought of ill, and long have you cause to be thus merry still. But father...
No more words, Jasper, get thee gone. Thou hast my blessing, thy father's spirit upon thee. Farewell, Jasper. You left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day, and you never lost 1 minute sleep.
So, Michael, get thee gone too.
Yes, forsooth, mother, but I'll have my father's blessing first.
No, Michael, 'tis no matter for his blessing. Thou hast my blessing. Be gone. I'll fetch my money and jewels and follow thee. I'll stay no longer with him, I warrant thee. Truly, Charles, I will be gone too.
What? You will not?
Yes, indeed will I.
Na 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 na, na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye.
You shall not think when all your own is gone to spend that I have been scraping up for Michael.
Farewell, good wife. I expect it not. All I have to do in this world is to be merry, which I shall, if the ground be not taken from me, and if it be. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you.
now, son Humphrey.
Right, worshipful and my beloved friend and father dear, this matter is at an end.
George, dost thou think in my conscience now 'twill be a match? Tell me but what thou thinkest, sweet rogue. Thou seest the poor gentleman, dear heart, how it labors and throbs. I warrant you to be at rest. I'll go move the father for it.
No, no, I prithee thee, sit still, honeysuckle. Thou'lt spoil all. If he deny him, I'll bring half a dozen good fellows myself, and in the shutting of an evening knock it up, and there's an end.
How was it, son? You told me that tomorrow, before daybreak, you must convey her hence.
I must, and thus it is agreed. Your daughter rides upon a brown-based steed, I on the sorrel which I bought of Brian, the honest host of the Red Roaring Lion, in Waltham Situate. Then, if you may consent in a seemly sort, lest by delay the fatal sisters come and do the office, and then you'll sing another song.
Alas, why should you be thus full of grief to me, that do as willing as yourself agree? To anything so it be good and fair, then steal her when you will, if such a pleasure content you both. I'll sleep and never see it, to make your joys more full. But tell me why you may not here perform your marriage.
God's blessing on thy soul, old man. In faith thou art loath to part true hearts, I see. He has her, George, and I'm as glad on it. Well, go thy ways, Humphrey, for a fair-spoken man. I believe thou hadst not thy fellow within the walls of London, and I should say the suburbs too, I should not lie. Why dost now rejoice with me, George?
If I could but see Rafe again, I were as merry as mine host, I faith.
The cause you seem to ask I thus declare. Help me, O nine muses. Your daughter sware a foolish oath. The more it was the pity, yet none but myself within this city shall dare to say so, but with full defiance shall meet him were he of the noble science. And yet she sware, and yet why did she swear? Truly I cannot tell, unless it were for her own ease, for sure sometimes an oath being sworn thereafter is like cordial broth. And this is what she swore. Never to marry, but such as one whose mighty arm could carry, as meaning me, for I am such a one, her bodily away through stick and stone, till both of us arrive at her request some 10 miles off in the wild Waltham forest.
Well, if this be all, you shall need not to fear any denial in your love. Yes, proceed, and I'll follow you. I'll neither follow you nor repent the deed.
Good night! 20 good nights and 20 more and 20 more good nights. That makes 3 score.
Come, Michael. Art thou not weary, boy?
No, forsooth, mother, not I.
Where be we now, child?
Indeed, forsooth, mother, I cannot tell, unless we be at Mile End. Is not the whole world Mile End, mother?
No, Michael, not all the world, boy. But I can assure thee, Michael, Mile End is a goodly matter. There hath been a pitch field, my child, between the naughty Spaniels and the Englishmen. And the Spaniels ran away, Michael, and the Englishmen followed. My neighbor Coxstone was there, boy, and killed them all with the burning piece.
Mother, forsooth,
What says my wet boy?
shall not my father go with us too?
No, Michael. Let thy father go snick up. He shall never come between a pair of sheets with me again while he lives. Let him stay at home and sing for his supper, boy. Come, child, sit down, and I'll show my boy a fine axe in view. Look here, Michael. Here's a ring, and here's a brooch, and here's a bracelet, and here's 2 rings more, and here's money and gold by thy eye, my boy.
Shall I have all this, mother?
Aye, Michael, thou shalt have it all, Michael.
Here's Rafe, here's Rafe! How do you, Rafe? You are welcome, Rafe, as I may say. It's a good boy. Hold up thy head and be not afraid. We are thy friends, Rafe. The gentleman will praise thee, Rafe, if thou playest thy part with audacity. Begin, Rafe, on God's name.
My trusty squire, unlace my helm. Give me my hat. Where are we? Or what desert may this be?
Mirror of knighthood, that is, as I take it, the perilous Waltham Down, in whose border stands the enchanted valley.
Oh, Michael, we are betrayed, we are betrayed. Here be giants. Fly, boy, fly.
Lace on my helm again. What noise is this? A gentle lady flying the embrace of some uncourteous knight? I will relieve her. Go, squire, and say that the knight that wears the pestle in honor of all ladies
I go, brave knight.
swears revenge upon that great coward that pursues her. Go comfort her and that same gentle squire that bears her company.
friend, Max.
My trusty dwarf and friend, reach me my shield and hold it while I swear. First by my knighthood, then by the soul of Amadis de Gaul, my famous ancestor, then by my sword. The beauteous Brunella girt about me, by this bright burning pestle, of mine honor the living trophy, and by all respect due to distressed damsels, here I vow never to end the quest of this fair lady, and that forsaken squire, till by my valor I gained their liberty.
Heaven bless the knight that thus relieves the poor errant gentlewoman.
Aye, marry Rafe, this has some savor in it. I would see the proudest of them all offer to carry his books after him. But George, I will not have him go away so soon. I shall be sick if he go away again, that I shall. Call Rafe again, George, call Rafe again. I prithee, sweetheart, let him come fight before me, and let's have some drums and trumpets, and let him kill all that comes near him. And thou loves me, George.
Peace a little, bird. He shall kill them all, and there were 20 more on him than there are now.
Now, fortune, if thou be'st not only ill, show me thy better face, and I bring about the desperate wheel that I may climb at length and stand. This is our place of meeting. If love have any constancy, O age where only wealthy men are counted happy, now shall I please thee, how deserves the smiles, when I am only rich in misery? My father's blessing, this little coin, in my inheritance a strong venue. From earth thou art, and to the earth I give thee. There, grow and multiply whilst fresher air breathes me in fresher fortune. An illusion. 'Tis metal. Rings well. Now my God's dear blessing upon this heart, and lift there, 'tis mine. These parts I take, were not left for swine.
I do not like that this unthrifty youth should embezzle away the money. Poor gentlewoman, his mother, will have a heavy heart for it, God knows.
And good reason, sweetheart.
But let him go. I'll tell Rafe a tale in his ear, shall fetch him again, and with the wangian I warrant him, if he be above ground. And besides, George, here are a number of sufficient gentlemen can witness, and myself and yourself and the musicians, if we be called in question. But here comes Rafe, George. You shall hear him speak, and hear an imperial.
Comes not Sir Squire again?
Right courteous knight, your squire doth come with him, and with him comes the lady. And 4, and the 22nd, and the squire of damsels, as I think.
Madam, if any service or devoir of a poor errant knight may right your wrongs, command it. I am pressed to give you succor, for to that holy end I bear my armor.
Out, alas, I left £1,000, ere all the money I had laid up for this youth. Upon the sight of your mastership, you looked so grim, and may I say it, saving your presence, more like a giant than a mortal man.
I am as you are, lady, so are they, all mortal. But why weeps this gentle squire?
Has he not cause to weep, do you think, when he hath lost his inheritance?
Young hope of valor, weep not. I am here, that will confound thy foe and pay a dear upon his coward head, that dares deny distressed squires and ladies' equity. I have but one horse, on which shall ride this lady fair behind me, and before this courteous squire. Fortune will give us more upon our next adventure. Fairly speed beside us, squire and dwarf, to do us need.
Did I not tell you, Nell, that what your man would do? By the faith of my body, wench, for clean action and good delivery, they may all cast their caps at him.
And so they may, in faith, for I dare speak it boldly, the 12 companies of London cannot match him, timber for timber. Well, George, and do not be inveigled by some of these paltry players. I have much marvel. But George, we have done our parts, if the boy have any grace to be faithful.
Yes, I warrant you, Declan.
Good Mistress Lewis, however, I in fault am for your late horse welcome unto Waltham, but which way now to go, or what to say, I know not truly, till it be broad day.
Oh, fear not, Master Humphrey, I'm guide for this place good enough.
Then up! Ride, or if it so please you, walk, for repose, or sit if you will go and pluck a rose. Either of which shall be indifferent to your good friend and Humphrey, whose consent is so entangled over to your will as the poor harmless horse is to the mill.
Faith, can you say the word, we'll leave and sit down and take a nap.
Luce! Dear friend Luce!
Oh, here, Jasper.
You are mine.
But be so, my friend. You use me fine. What do you think I am?
An errant naughty.
A word of obliquely. Now by God's body I'll tell my master, for I know thee well.
Nay, you be supported tale. Take that. And that. Sir, I gave it. And I paid you well.
Sir, I have it, and do confess the payment. Pray be quiet.
Go, get your nightcap, and a dye to cure your beaten bones.
Alas, poor Humphrey, give me some wholesome broth of sage and comfrey. A little oil of roses and a feather to anoint my back with oil.
When I came hither when I had gone to Paris with John Tory.
Farewell, my pretty number. I'm very sorry you cannot bear me company.
Farewell! The devil's dam was never so banged in hell. This young Jasper referred me another case on my conscience, and made me suffered. George, just now see George, how he swaggers and flies at the very heads of folks as he were a dragon. Well, if I do not do his lesson for wronging the poor gentleman, I am no true woman. His friends that brought him up might have been better occupied. I wish then had taught them these beggars. He's even in the highway to the gallows. God bless him.
You're too bitter, Connie. The young man may do well enough for all of us.
Come hither, Master Humphrey. Has he hurt you? Now beshrew his fingers for it. Here, sweetheart, here's some green ginger for thee. Now beshrew my heart, but he has pimpernel in his head, as big as a pullet's egg. Alas, sweet lamb, how thy temples beat. Take the peace on him, sweetheart, take the peace on him.
No, you talk like a foolish woman. I'll have Rafe fight with him, and swinge him up well favoredly. Sirrah, boy, come hither. Let Rafe come in and fight with Jasper.
Aye, and beat him well. He's an unhappy boy.
Sir, you must pardon us, but the plot of our play lies contrary and expect will hazard the spoiling of our play.
Plot me no plots. I'll have Rafe come out. I'll make your house too hot for you else.
I sure he shall. Why, sir, he shall. But if anything fall out of order, gentlemen must pardon us.
Go your ways, goodman boy. I'll hold him a penny. He shall have his belly full of fighting now. Ho! Here comes Rafe. No more.
What passage is that, squire? Ask him if he keep the passage bound by love of lady fair, or else but prick it.
Sir, I am no knight, but a poor gentleman that the same night had stolen from me on yonder green my lovely wife, and sundered to be seen yet extant on my shoulders. Such a greeting that whilst I live I shall think of that meeting.
Aye, Rafe, he beat him unmercifully, Rafe, and thou sparest him, Rafe. I would thou were king.
No more, wife, no more.
Where is the caitiff wretch that hath done this deed? Lady, your pardon that I might proceed. Upon the quest of this injurious knight, and thou, fair squire, repute me not the worse, in leaving the great venture of the purse and the rich casket till some better leisure.
Here comes the broker head purloin my treasure!
Go, squire, and tell him I am here, an errant knight in arms, to crave delivery of that fair lady to her own knight's arms. If he deny, bid him take the choice of ground, and so defy him.
From knight that bears the Golden Pestle, I defy thee, knight, unless you make fair restitution for the bright lady.
Tell the knight that sent thee he is an ass. I keep the wench, and knock his headpiece.
Knight, thou art but dead if thou recall not thy uncourteous terms.
Rafe, pate Rafe, soundly.
Come, knight, I am ready for you. What's that? Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Your pestle. Yeah. Shall try and temper, sir, your mortars of, with good upright in his stirrups, and gave the knight of Calfskin such a knock. That forsook his horse, and down he fell, and leaped upon him, and plucked off his helmet.
Nay, and my little lady down so soon. Oh, I can scarcely go. I must run.
Run away, run, Rafe, run for thy life, boy. Jasper comes.
Come, Luce, we must have other arms for you. Humphrey and Golden Pestle. Both adieu.
Sure the devil, God bless us, is in this spurgall. Why, George, didst thou ever see such a fire drape? boys miscarried. If he be, though he were a mastering merry thoughts son 1,000 times, if there be any law in England, I'll make some of them smart for it.
No, I have found out the matter, sweetheart. Jasper is enchanted. As sure as we are here, he is enchanted. He could no more have stood in Rafe's hands than I can stand in my lord's mare's. I'll have a ring to discover all enchantments, and Rafe shall beat him yet. Be no more vexed for it. It shall be so.
Oh, husband, here's Rafe again. Stay, Rafe, let me speak with thee. How dost thou, Rafe? Art thou not shroudly hurt? The foul great Logies laid unmercifully on thee. There's some sugar candy for thee. Proceed, thou shalt have another bout with him.
If Rafe had him at the fencing school, if he did not make a puppy of him, drive him up and down the school, he should never come in my shop more.
Truly, Master Knight of the Burning Pestle, I am weary.
Indeed, mother, I am very hungry.
Take comfort, gentle dame, and you, fair squire, for in this desert there must needs be placed many strong castles held by courteous knights, and till I bring you safe to one of those, I swear by this my order never to leave you.
Well said, Rafe. George, Rafe was ever comfortable, was he not? I shall never forget him. When we had lost our child, you know it was strayed almost alone to Puddleworth, and the criers were abroad for it, and there it had been drowned itself but for a sculler. Rafe was the most comfortablest to me. Peace, mistress, says he, let it go. I'll get you another as good. Did he not, George? Did he not say so?
Yes, indeed he did, Mouse.
I would we had a mess of pottage and a pot of drink, squire. We're going to bed.
Why, we are at Waltham's town end, and that's the Bell's Inn.
Take courage, valiant knight. I have discovered another stone's cast off ancient castle held by the old knight of the most holy order of the Bell, who gives it to all knights and errant entertain. There's plenty of food, and all prepared by the white hands of his own lady dear. He hath 3 squires that welcome his guests. The first, hight Chalambrio, who will see us, our bread's prepared, and bring us snowy sheets, but never footman stretched his buttered hams. The second hight to Pastria, who will see our pots filled, and hath no frost for therein. The third, a gentle squire, Arsleo hight, who our peltries sick in wisps of straw, and in the major put them oats enough, and never grease their teeth with candle snuff.
That same dwarf's a pretty boy, but the squire's a proud one.
Knock at the gates, my squire, with stately lance.
Who's there? You're welcome, gentlemen. Will you see a room?
Right courteous and valiant knight of the Burning Pestle. This is the Squire Tapestry.
Fair Squire Tapstro, I, a wandering knight, height of the Burning Pestle, in the quest of this fair lady's casket and wrought purse, losing myself in this vast wilderness, am to this castle well by fortune brought, where, hearing of the goodly entertain, your knight of the holy order of the Bell, gives to all damsels and all errant knights, I thought to knock, and now am bold to enter.
And please you to see a chamber, you are very welcome.
George, I would have something done, and I cannot tell what it is.
What is it, Nell?
Why, George, shall Rafe beat nobody again? Pretty sweetheart, let him.
So he shall, Nell, and if I join with him, we'll knock them all.
Oh, George, here's Master Humphrey again now. That lost Mistress Luce and Mistress Luce's father. Master Humphrey will do somebody's errand. I warrant him.
Father, it's true in arms I shall ne'er clasp her, for she's stolen away by your man, Jasper.
I thought he would tell him.
Unhappy that I am to lose my child. Now I begin to think on Jasper's words, who oft hath urged me to thy foolishness. Why didst thou let her go? Thou lovest her not. Thou that wouldst bring us home thy life and not bring.
Father, forgive me, shall I tell you true? Look on my shoulders, they're black and blue. Whilst to and fro fair Luce and I were winding, he came and basted me with a hedge binding.
Get men and horses straight. We will be there within this hour. You know the place again?
I know the place, and where my loins did swaddle, I'll get 6 horses, and to each a saddle.
Meantime, I'll go talk with Jasper's father.
George, what wilt thou lay with me now that Master Humphrey has not Mistress Luce yet? Speak, George, what wilt thou lay with me?
No, Nell, I warrant thee Jasper is at Hookeridge with her by this.
Nay, George, you must consider Mistress Luce's feet are tender, and besides 'tis dark. And I promise you truly, I do not see how you should get out of Waltham Forest with her yet.
Nay, Connie, what wilt thou lay with me that Rafe has her not yet?
I will not lay against Rafe, honey, because I have not spoken with him. But look, George, peace. Here comes the merry old gentleman again.
This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow, pirate so brave, on the 7 seas, mystical quest to the island of Tortuga. Davy Jones lager, what
Master Mary thought, and my daughter is gone. This mirth becomes you not, my daughter's gone.
I'm doing this tonight. You're probably gonna start a fight. I know
Not
it's
not my misery.
Bye, bye, bye. Oh.
It is your son, whom I have made my own, when all forsook him, has stolen my only joy, my child, away.
Bye, bye, bye. Don't wanna be a fool for you. Just another player in your game for 2. You may hate me, but it ain't no lie. Bye, bye, bye.
Unworthy of the kindness I have shown to thee and thine. Too late, I well perceive, thou art consenting to my daughter's loss.
Your daughter! What's a start here with your daughter? Let her go. Think no more on her, but sing loud. If both my sons were on the gallows, I would sing. And I'm free, free falling.
I might behold her once again, and she once more embrace her age.
Fie! How scurvily this goes, and she once more embrace her age, sire. You'll make a dog on her, will you? She cares too much for your age, sire, I warrant you. I see you rambling round town, rambling about your daughter's crap, and I'm like, fuck you. I guess the change in my pocket wasn't enough. I'm like, fuck you.
For this scorn, I will pursue that son of thine to death.
Do! And when you have killed him, calling out around the world, are you ready for a brand new beat? Dancing in the street.
I'll go fetch my daughter.
I'll hear no more on your daughter, it spoils my mirth.
I'll fetch my daughter.
I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one.
I'll be revenged by heaven.
Come, my dear. Now have we lost our way, we have not lost ourselves, and we are not weary. With this night's wandering, broken from our rest, and from the terrors that attends, darkness of the wild, unpeopled place.
Oh no, my best friend, I cannot either fear or entertain a weary thought, thus you, the end of all my full desires, stand by me. Let them that lose their hopes and live to languish among the number of forsaken lovers. Tell the long weary steps, and number time, start to shadow and shrink up their blood. Whilst I, possessed with all and be quiet, thus take my pretty love, and thus embrace it.
Well, you have caught me loose so fast, that whilst I live, I shall become your faithful prisoner. Then wear thou chains forever. Here, sit down. Wrong chair, but there you go.
You can sit down.
And rest your body, too delicate, for these disturbances. So will you sleep. Come, do not be more able than you are. I know you're not skillful in these watches, for women are no soldiers. Be not nice, but take it. Sleep, I say.
I cannot sleep, indeed I cannot, friend.
Sleep, sleep, in quiet rest crown thy sweet thoughts. Keep your fair blood distempers, startlings, horrors, and fearful shapes. Let her dreams be joys and chaste delights, embraces, wishes, and such new pleasures as the ravished soul gives to the senses. So my charms have took. Keep her, you powers divine, while I contemplate upon the wealth and beauty of her mind. She is only fair and constant, only kind, and only to Jasper. O my joys, which will you transport me, let not fullness of my poor buried hopes come together, and overcharge my spirits. I am weak. Some say, however ill, the sea and woman are governed by the moon, both ebb and flow, both full of changes. Yet to them that know and truly judge these are but opinions, and heresies to bring unpleasing war between our tempers, and without these, where both void of the after love and present fear which are best of Cupid, O thou child bred from despair, I dare not entertain thee. Having a love without the faults of a woman, greater in her perfect goods than men, which to make good and please myself the stronger. Thou certain I am certain of her love. I'll try her, and the world in memory may sing to after times her consistency. Loose, wake!
Why do you frighten me, friend, with those distempered looks? What makes your soul start in your head? Who hath offended you? I prithee, Jasper, sleep. Thou art wild with watching.
Come, make your way to heaven, and bid the world know thy villainies, and stick upon it. Farewell, you're for another life.
Oh, Jasper, how have my tender years committed evil, especially against the man I love, thus to be cropped untimely?
Foolish girl, canst thou imagine I would love his daughter that flung me from his fortune to nothing, discharged me his service, shut the doors upon my poverty, scorned my prayers, sending me like a boat without a mast to sink or swim? Come by this hand, you die. I must have life and blood to satisfy your father's wrongs.
Away, George, away. Raise the watch at Ludgate and bring a vitamins for the justice for this desperate villain. Now, I charge you, gentlemen, see the king's peace kept. Oh, my heart, what a varlet's this to offer manslaughter upon the harmless gentlewoman.
I warn thee, sweetheart, we'll have him hampered.
Oh, Jasper, be not cruel. If thou wilt kill me, smile, and do it quickly, and let not many deaths appear before me. I am a woman, made of fear and love. A weak, weak woman. Kill not with thy eyes, they shoot me through and through. Strike, I am ready. In dying, still I love thee.
Whereabouts?